Don't get your feelings hurt. Read this. This is Short Film Roundup, coming to you live from endless void of nothingness, where the three of us are here to review your short films.
You okay there, man?
You hanging in there? I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good. I've totally accepted this.
Yeah, they have a Starbucks down here too.
I'm fine.
That's pretty good.
I'm actually totally okay with it.
Yeah, Payman kind of set us up here.
Yeah.
I'm on edge.
What's up?
I'm about to freaking lose it.
Tell us what's bothering you.
Losing my mind.
You okay?
We haven't even reviewed our first film yet.
It's this void.
Yeah, but the real punishment is having to review the short films, right? Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, you kind of might be right. When I go to get the McDonald's, 3 hours that way, it's cold. By the time I get back to where I can eat it, it's cold. I'm eating cold McDonald's. It's disgusting.
That's why mine's empty. I ate them all on the way. You have to eat it on the way back. I know there's no table over there.
This is Short Film Roundup, the show where we review user-submitted short films. Right, guys?
Right, yeah.
Hey, you're right, Kenny. You're right.
Let's not let the fact that we're being cursed by a demon drive a wedge between our team. We're not divided. It's not us versus each other. It's us versus the
filmmaker, the audience.
Yeah. So, that being said, let's unify and dive right in.
Let's.
What are we doing today, D?
Today's film is called Dreamless, and it is directed by, I believe, Todd Singleton. His name could also be I Did.
That's what he entered in the form.
Anyway, let's start it off by you clicking the single link in the description, and watching the film first, and then coming back here and joining us in our void. And we have returned.
I swear something just flew overhead. Anyway,
Alrighty. So, yeah, what do we think about this? Let's start it off with Taylor.
So this intro is awesome. I really like the look of that super gritty, noisy digital thing.
Facts.
And the title reveal I also liked.
I didn't realize it was cropped.
I also like the super wide throughout most of this. I like this kind of Snorri Cam-esque opening here where it's just on him, following him around. I definitely really liked the atmosphere and the tone of this film. It kind of had a surreal vibe to it. It definitely
had a surreal vibe.
I mean, it's a Dreamless, The idea, I guess, is like... the idea here is, the classic 9 to 5 kind of thing is not the ideal thing, and going through the motions of waking up every day, doing the same routines can get mindless and existential. And that's sort of a classic trope that's done many, many times. And here I thought it was kind of executed in a very melancholy way that I kind of liked, actually.
You read a well amount into that. I didn't get any of that.
I got all that from the dialogue.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's the only thing with dialogue is I don't listen to it.
You just watch movies with
I just
your
watch
eyes.
the movies. No, honestly, I had a very hard time hearing what he was saying.
Yeah.
I think that was basically because the audio, or maybe I'm just deaf.
No, yeah, the audio definitely.
It was hard.
Overlapping. So
yeah,
it felt like what they do in, what are they called? Mumblecore movies.
Yeah.
Where it's like
on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audio is definitely not the greatest. Neither was the editing. And some of the, I feel like I've seen some like experimental films that have this really campy editing thing where you see the seams of the effects, the rudimentary visual effects. So I don't know if that's intentional or not here, because there's definitely parts where you see the seams. It's like I can't tell if that's...
You're talking about like
literally you see where they're cropped.
Stuff?
Yeah. Like, I've seen that done
Have
in
you?
experimental films.
That's interesting.
But so I don't know if that's an intentional. I don't know if that's generally like if this is just one of your first films and you're getting the lay of the land, or
Yeah.
if,
Or if
it
it's
was
part of it.
an experimental
Do you mean
idea.
this bit
Like
here?
this part?
where
yeah, when he goes
the
up to
stairs?
the stairs.
So-
you know,
To me, it screamed. I wanted to do a certain effect, but couldn't
but it was
figure out how
amateur.
to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, you saw the line move.
It's moving,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then it goes whoop.
yeah,
And there, I don't think you would do it that way if you had intent. If that was your intent, that's what I felt like. I dig what this movie's trying to do. Like you, I was in love with the movie from the very get-go. The first two visuals and title reveal, I was just like, in.
Yeah.
I am in. This movie's rad. The performance of the character, I thought was fine. Was fairly well done. The problem is executing. If you can't execute an effect, you can always your film will always be stronger without it. A poorly executed effect never ever makes your film stronger.
Because it brings you out.
Yeah, so it's like if you can't do it right, it would have been better if you just hadn't attempted it. So the going up the stairs was one thing where I had that feeling of just like, I wish I hadn't done that. The other moment was how the bus stop was framed. So this one, it's just like, oh, I just want to just barely tilt that camera
Slightly
just
uneven.
a little bit, you know, and just that slight uneven, unless you're purposely trying to create a sense of dis-ease and
I feel like
imbalance
it's
here.
too slight to do that.
But
Yeah,
it is,
I'd
yeah.
agree.
It's like it's not a Dutch angle. It's more like I couldn't get this to just line up
Yeah.
just right.
Yeah.
And it totally takes me out, right? And then, having the guy be transparent on this side of the screen, and then when we cut to him in conversation, he's not, a translucent being, felt like, what was going on here?
Felt like they were trying to do
So,
something first.
I
yeah.
liked that though.
Did
I
you?
like that about it.
That's-
That's the thing. Well, that's the thing with the effects thing, where like, I acknowledge that I'm probably reading way deep into it by even giving a benefit of the doubt to it being potentially intentional, because it's like it's so overt to where it does feel intentional to me. Like I almost think like you can't look at that and be like, no one will notice.
You're talking about where it
But-
cuts from here
Yeah.
to the.
Or even the stair thing, or like here.
Yeah.
But it very well could be just like what you described, him trying
Yeah.
being ambitious with an effect and not pulling it off and just doing it anyway.
It took me out.
Yeah.
So at least 2 times.
It took me out too. This part did.
There
Or
now,
the part after, I mean.
Right. Now, if we're going the full-fledged experimental film route, there was something in here that I thought was very cool. If we're trying to just do plain old visual storytelling, then it's distracting. And it is back in the bus stop here. Go back into the bus stop where they're having their conversation back and forth. So he does something strange with the way the camera's moving that actually makes it look like the bus stop is moving around the character instead of the character. So it doesn't look like camera shake. It looks like the bus stop is
Yeah.
loose from its moorings and rocking back and forward around the character.
Snorri cam. That's what Snorri cam does.
And if that's...
That doesn't look like that to me at all.
I don't see a camera moving.
No, I.
That looks like the bus stop is moving.
Interesting. So I
Because
wonder.
it's locked on him, the camera. I mean, it kind of...
Oh, is it? I wonder if it's in-body stabilization, but tracking his face.
Well, that's what it felt like in the very first sequence when he's walking through that like warehouse.
That's
As
interesting.
well.
Yeah, so it's like a faux snorri cam.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so that's, again, it's like cool, and there's so much about this film that's cool, but I'm not grasping intent or meaning here really, other than I guess he has some kind of insomnia.
That looks just very much. That is snorri cam.
Yeah.
That's like definitely attached to him somehow.
I was
He's
gonna
like
say-
holding a monopod and like keeping his...
No,
stick
it's
on
that
it.
goose thing that you wear around your waist. Have you seen that Japanese product where the big gooseneck comes out of
Yeah.
your crotch and it holds the phone? Yeah, it's a very interesting technique.
Or I guess he's just holding it.
I feel like this is a movie made by one guy.
I almost have no doubt about
I think
that.
Yeah.
maybe this guy
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
setting up cameras, walking away, walking towards, it has a very much a feel of I did this all myself.
This was really
It
interesting.
doesn't feel directed. That was the other thing that really messed me up was
part.
the digital slow motion
Oh, really?
as opposed to shooting in. Because whenever I see that, it always feels like a 1990s sitcom.
Yeah.
Like it almost becomes a reference to something else
Yeah.
when we do a digital slow mo. It's like we're trying to be over sentimental or
Right. I know what you mean. Yeah.
or comic, right?
I think it's maybe because you and I had grown up in a time where
'Cause we're
that
from
was
the 90s.
all over the trailers.
Yeah. So
See, that's kind of interesting because like that's something that slowed down like regular frame rate slow motion is something that I've kind of grown to like as
That's funny.
like a tonal.
I've absolutely
thing.
grown to hate it.
Yeah.
Like I hate it. For the same reason that Kenny does.
yeah, to me like the
But,
movie's
like,
over.
I don't
when
have
happens.
that.
The movie's over.
I don't have that context.
I have a weird thing about context in this whole film, and that was just introducing it. I can understand that he's at a job and everything. When he's on the stairwell here, it looks like and sounds like he's very uncomfortable. Right, we got the snorri cam going. It looks like he's lost almost. Like
yeah,
he's
I
looking,
get the sense of disorientation.
Yeah,
And
and so I guess
later-
it's supposed to be insomnia playing,
Right.
But what I got was like he's just lost in a place and he can't figure out where he's going.
Oh, interesting.
And then when he walks through this door, it seems very random, but then I guess that's just his job because we now have 4 establishing shots of it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not
He's
sure.
walking backwards and forward. He's
Yeah.
like he's,
There was,
he's
like,
covering this whole warehouse.
Too many shots here.
Yeah.
Like way too many shots.
That you could have easily done
Like
with
this
one
shot we're on right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be there.
Right, and I understand. I think
So-
what he was trying to do was slow down everything to make it feel like everything's slow.
So his parallel self or subconscious self or doppelganger or whatever that is on
Doppelganger.
whatever that is. Do that again.
Doppelganger.
Thank you. Whatever that is, it's like it's giving him advice. It's telling him what he needs to do and not to be afraid, right? He's telling him, hey, you need to go to sleep. And he's like, I don't want to. And he's like, oh, you're afraid you're going to lose me if you go to sleep. And he's like, yeah, well, you got to go to sleep. And he's like, okay.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically their conversation. I don't understand why it happened or what it meant at all.
I felt like he was talking about like he was procrastinating sleeping because he doesn't want to go through the same routine that he's going through
Yeah,
every
he kept
single
saying
day.
it's the same thing over and
Yeah.
over. Now, I actually suffer from recurring nightmares. Same nightmare over and over and over again. I have it all the time. A condition that's worsened since being sent to the void, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's much worse here.
That sucks.
But you know what? It never makes me not want to go to sleep. You know, it's just dreams.
Yeah.
So I just
So
wonder, like,
are-
what
are-
is the same thing that he's avoiding? He
Are
says,
we here-
Oh, it's the same thing over and over.
Daily,
what is the thing?
his work, his
So he-
daily
So
motions.
he doesn't want to go to sleep because then he has to start over the next day tomorrow?
Yeah, he hates his day-to-day life.
I do get that from this character.
Yeah,
That he is deeply dissatisfied.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the shots of the bar in time lapse, like outside that house in time lapse.
Why they were there?
Yeah, like
To-
I didn't know.
To
what
me, that was the
meant
most
at all.
accepted part of the whole film.
Right.
Yeah, and
So we're
it's,
totally inverted on
no,
this
yeah,
one.
and I say that because at those points I was just like, I get it. What you're trying to do is just kind of give us a tone and give us a feel, and I was like, that's fine because I see no point to these shots otherwise.
I don't understand
Is that
those
a-
two
is
shots
that a
right there.
rhino?
I don't get at
Is
all.
that a rhino? Using a rhino?
A rhino?
Rhinos are cool. Yeah, that was obviously an electronic slider.
Oh, it looks
Time
digital.
Oh
lapse
no,
sort
that's
of
a
thing.
digital zoom.
That's all digital?
Yeah.
So you don't have a rhino? Maybe you should get a rhino. Rhinos are really cool.
No, that's
You
definitely.
could do that with a rhino and it would look better. They're too expensive, so I don't have one.
This episode brought to you by Rhino. Sorry.
Yeah. What I do is I just sit there for hours, very, very slowly, pushing it up on a slider.
Perfectly pulling it
Yeah,
off.
extremely slow.
Wow.
When he goes upstairs here, and then his doppelganger comes down, or is that opposite?
Oh wait. Okay, the guy going up has a coat on.
Oh no,
Okay.
that is Doppelganger going up because he has a hat
He's
on.
got the hat on.
Yeah. So then he comes downstairs, and then we focus on the Doppelganger afterwards.
See, I wish, I mean, because the camera's locked down. The camera doesn't move at all. So I wish you'd just maybe superimpose two on top of each
Yeah,
other.
it's just an early
Yeah.
try is what it was.
If anything, it could have been like the opacity
Superimposing
thing
would
you
have been
did over here.
would have been easier though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some shots in here that I really, really liked.
The color correcting, or whether it's intentional or not, but the color overall, I thought really added until we cut to these two shots, which
Yeah.
are extremely
Very
vivid.
warm, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, these are from. It actually gave me the feel that you didn't shoot this footage. It's
Yeah.
from. It's
That's
like
nice.
stock.
It does feel
Yeah,
that
It
way.
I got
feels
that
like stock,
impression
and I know
too.
it's not stock because this looks like something you made. But
Like
it
hometown
yeah.
sauce.
Now playing sauce.
Sauce.
This is literally like those two shots are the only things about this film that I didn't understand.
I don't understand it either.
I
know
don't really
it has-
understand anything of this film.
I
That
don't
doesn't
either.
make it a bad thing.
Sure.
I mean,
I think we see a clear intention here, right? That he's trying to go for a tone, and I hate saying this, but there was
Say it.
a thing here. If we go to the end, I noticed that Dreamless Jamestown Insomniac Film Festival.
oh,
Interesting.
I just noticed that.
challenge film. Was this a challenge film?
So it was a film made to convey a certain tone.
Now, that being said, you'd hit the nail on the head that there's clearly an intent here.
Yeah.
I think where this falls apart is I feel like there are several pieces of this film that don't match his intent. It was
Yeah.
just like, hey, this will be an interesting idea to throw in there, but aren't directly connected to telling the story of this guy who is, somehow wandering in and out of dreamland or whatever it is, like those two time-lapse shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a I have a cool, wouldn't it be cool to include some time-lapse footage and, just sort of add that weird tone, but it's tangential to the actual intent.
Right. Well,
which makes the movie, even though it's really short, it has fat to trim.
That
It
and-
definitely has fat to trim.
when he's telling obviously a story about a single guy here, and yet we have purely tonal stuff in here, like the snorri cam kind of thing, and like the like this shot. I love those shots. They convey a tone, and that's
Yeah.
great. But I think if your purpose is to try to tell a story, that they draw away from that.
Yeah, and I think, again, this comes across like we're trying to do a character piece.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly about this guy, and his performance playing this guy is cool and strong.
His performance is pretty good. Yeah.
This should be a character piece film where we have a lot of distractions away from the character instead of just really getting inside of this guy's head.
Yeah.
And getting inside of his head could be totally weird and abstract, and as just it could be purely tone, and that's fine. But stay on his head. Stay with him.
Yeah. That's it.
The only scenes that didn't feel like was feeding into the intent were the like super saturated
The two
time
time
lapse
lapse.
stuff.
Yeah.
For me, everything else I felt like was feeding in perfectly to what
Emotionally, I
He-
think so.
set out to do. And well, the story of it and the character fleshed out and why everything is happening is delivered through the dialogue at the bench. He talks about, I don't want to go to sleep because actually the only thing that actually didn't come across to me was that he was insomniac. I didn't get that he was an
No,
insomniac.
that's true. It sounds like it's he's not going to sleep purely by choice.
That's
Yeah.
funny because that's the whole
But that
point
that
of the film. Right?
was the film festival thing. So
Well, I mean, that was the point of making the film in the
Yeah.
first place, right?
but it seemed like watching it, I think maybe he was more interested in doing something that was about the mundane day-to-day life, somebody who had a day-to-day life that they didn't like and they hated it, and they procrastinated sleeping to get through the whole thing, and then the the woes of that. Though maybe there is a little bit of could have done better with the insomnia angle, because I didn't read into that at all.
I don't know that the story is necessarily too thin. I mean, because there's been better movies that have thinner plots.
Yeah.
It's just the thin story itself is too invisible. It's too muddled, too hard to.
I didn't
find.
have any heart. I knew it right away.
Oh, you think you do.
Well, you guys are acting like it's almost not there, but like it was like clear as day to me.
Yeah, but you're clear as day. Is,
Well, see, you're a genius. We are not geniuses.
Oh, sorry. To be fair, you have to have a pretty high IQ
I mean,
to
so
understand this kind of movie.
There's that. You know, we have hard times figuring this stuff out, man.
I feel like
I just disagree. So.
I feel like the strongest thing here is the performance. The second strongest is this the main tone, right? So he has like 2 or 3 that kind of end up bleeding over each other, but this main tone that you experience, especially in the warehouse and going back to the apartment and all that, are super strong. And there's just too much that distracts us from those 2 things. And I personally could have used just a little bit more exposition. Yeah. It didn't have to be through words.
Yeah.
For example,
I would agree with that.
Seeing a bed or a bedroom could have told us a lot about what is happening to this guy.
That's true.
You know, there's just a couple of places we could have gone that would have told more of the story without having to actually say it.
Definitely. Yeah. I actually really like that idea of a bedroom now. Like, I want to see that. I want to see this guy's bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, is this bed just perfectly made, like it's never slept in? Is it torn to shreds out of frustration?
Yeah.
You know? Is there a woman in it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that would do a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of that is context that we never know, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what tells a story, and I think that's what you and I at least are trying to get from it, is trying to find out more context of a situation other than just what he said. Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's all.
Yeah. What are some questions we can ask?
Do we have any questions?
I got questions. How much was your effects, seeing the crop, was that intentional at all, or was it just like you're trying to do it, couldn't quite pull it off, and just left it in, went with it anyway? Sorry. Why did those shots exist with the time lapse and the outside of the whatever that was?
Defend the time
Sauce.
lapse.
Yeah. The sauce. Yeah.
The sauce factory shot.
I don't know why
Sauce factory.
that existed.
I can totally see myself making this exact little scene here years ago, when I'd have this idea in my head that I'm going to lock down the camera. On my way up, I'm going to walk on this side of the stairs. On my way down, I'm going to walk on this side, and they're just going to cut together perfectly. And only then you realize, I'm higher than half of the stairs, and so we overlap. And how do I fix that? That's what this screams to me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If it is intentional, then I want to hear the why.
What is the
behind
intent?
that. Yeah. What is the intent? Yeah.
Just a quick tip, if you were looking for that, After Effects Roto Brush would take care of that problem. But you have to learn how to use it, which...
Yeah, D says that like it's like super easy. The way I solve that is I go, let's say After Effects Roto Brush. That sounds like a good idea. D, can you After Effects Roto Brush this for me? And then D does it, and everything's fine.
And then there you go, and then it works.
Yeah. Yeah, we are a full-service production company. By the way, you could hire us.
You can hire us.
We wrote a brush.
We even from the
From
void.
the void, yeah.
We can accept PayPal and stuff. There's an internet connection here, so we.
I don't want to get too worked up on other stuff, because I really do want to get through all these films, because I don't want to spend any more time in the void than I have to. You know.
I'm starting to like it here.
Really?
I mean, life is kind of. I mean, all my needs are taken care of.
Right.
You remember how stressful my life was? I mean, before.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what is happening with my family right now, and that does cause me a little bit of concern.
Sure.
I would like a haircut sometime soon.
Yeah.
You know, I have to start
hey.
wearing hats now.
Look what I got.
Dude, where'd you get those?
Yeah,
I've been
where'd you
looking
get scissors?
everywhere for scissors. Where'd you get
And
those?
they're black.
There's a lot of things I have in my pockets. I just carry.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
you had those before we were cursed?
Yeah.
In your Halloween costume?
Yeah. Pirate scissors.
Oh, pirate scissors.
Yes. But if you want me to cut your hair,
Okay.
maybe but in between, let's do these the next, maybe
Yeah,
after
maybe
3
next-
episodes.
after 3 episodes,
Then I'll
yeah.
cut your hair, and then you'll have short hair.
Sure. Let's do it.
Will have been done by me with
Cool.
these scissors.
All right.
Any more questions for our brave filmmaker? I want to hear who. I want to hear what kind of movies you want to be making. I get the sense of a tone poem, experimental filmmaker, surrealism. Is that the area where you feel like you thrive? Is that the kind of storytelling you like doing? And if so, who are your inspirations? What kind of work are you trying to tap into or channel here? I love hearing that.
I want to know why it was cropped for the first minute and then not cropped for the rest of it.
Yeah. I didn't notice that either.
I didn't really either.
I'm guessing it has something to do with visual poetry,
Yeah.
as it were. But
So it goes
I don't
from
really understand.
Yeah. This past season on Westworld, they did a thing. It took several episodes before people on Reddit caught on, but scenes that took place during one event timeline had a certain aspect ratio, and scenes in a different event timeline had a different aspect ratio.
That was a bone thrown, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's interesting. Cool.
So,
Well, thank you for submitting your film.
seriously,
Yeah,
man.
thanks. I did.
That was a lot. Don't be rude.
I'm rude. I did.
He has
Avoid
I'm
brings
guessing
out the
Todd. I'm guessing
worst
of
your name
us.
is Todd. I think.
Todd D has been horrible.
It's just
since we've
my
been
hair
cursed.
is long and I'm not used to it.
The
so-
curse has not been good for D. Yeah,
Sorry.
Taylor's okay as long as he has warm McDonald's.
Well, the thing
Yeah,
is,
that's what
Taylor
matters.
Taylor
Eat
really
it when
likes.
you're there.
Taylor
I
just
want,
really
I want a table. They don't
See
have
the-
tables at that
bring
one.
this
It's all
table.
standard.
Drive
Let's
through
just bring
only.
this table.
Yeah.
I see.
Bring the table.
Yeah, just walk 3 hours with the table.
Maybe if we can get into the right time dilation highway, we can make it there pretty quick.
Or just
I'd say,
end up in a loop.
It's a big assumption.
Yeah, I know. We have to test it.
I don't
That could
really-
take years.
We got time.
Not if we're going to finish reviewing movies.
True. We gotta stay focused.
Let's get back to work. We,
We
have
gotta
more
get-
movies.
we
So,
got more,
hey,
yeah.
Todd, let us know
What's next?
answers to our questions. And
Also, if you have a short film that you want to submit,
please don't submit it.
Please don't.
Our list
Don't.
is so long, and every time someone submits a film, it gets longer and longer.
It's just we really want to get out of here, and
So
if you have a film, please don't submit it in the. We have a form that you can fill out in the description. Don't go there.
we're not encouraging
Yeah.
Do
you
not
to
click
go
on it.
to that form, submit your film to us so that we can cover it here on Short Film Roundup. I'm also not encouraging you to subscribe to this channel, to find us on Facebook, to find us on Reddit at r/Karmanlinestudios.
Right, because if you keep interacting with us, we'll have to be here.
We just don't
Yeah.
have time
Yeah.
for this
And we
stuff.
just don't
We're
want
trying
to.
to. We're
Not
trying
to
to get out
mention,
of here.
we don't.
You know?
We may or may not also have a very cool Facebook group called Short Film Cooperative, and I'm certainly not encouraging you to go there and join that as well.
Right.
And I think we're about out of time. Let's see. If we start now, we might be able to get to McDonald's and back before the next short film starts.
okay.
It is timeless, The Void.
Yeah, but I mean,
Timeless.
but you can still experience time.
I mean, I know you say that, and I know like the sign said
Here's
timeless
some-
when we got here,
Yeah.
but I have a watch,
Yeah.
and it's
And honestly,
it says
the-
8:16.
There's a lot of intricacies to
timeless.
this void.
I mean, that's
actually.
that.
So I guess payment is just kind
He's
of.
just the demon being over dramatic.
He's just overdramatic.
Timeless void, and I'm like, well,
I mean, the
I
time
don't-
still works.
it's
Payment.
not-
so.
it's not timeless.
Thank you
Oh,
guys.
art, what an
Anyway,
artist.
we're done here. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.